Good evening and thank you for joining us. Several arrests have been made following a pair of violent crimes in Thunder Bay.
4 people have been charged with first-degree murder in connection with the death of a woman on Cumming Street on Tuesday. And another person has been charged with attempted murder after an incident on Dufferin Street on Monday. Ben Nesbitt has details.
The murder victim on Cumming Street has been identified as 25-year-old Ashley Chantel McKay of Thunder Bay. City police say her next of kin have been notified, and 4 people have now been arrested. 37-year-old Marlene Lou Quandabins, 34-year-old Roger Donald McKay, 21-year-old Terrell Nicole Irene Mikan, and 24-year-old Darren Stephen Umbash, all of Thunder Bay, have been arrested and charged with first-degree murder. They're all in custody awaiting their next court dates. The crime scene remains under police control, and officers have been canvassing the area. Investigators are now awaiting the results of the post-mortem examination. Meanwhile, 25-year-old Peter Kiash was arrested and charged with attempted murder, threats to kill, and forcible confinement in connection with an incident that took place in the 300 block of Dufferin Street just before 9 o'clock on Monday night. A woman in the residence was found unresponsive before being transported to hospital with serious injuries. Kiash remains in custody with a future court date. No further information has been released, and no one from Thunder Bay Police were available for an interview about the 2 cases. Ben Nesbitt, TBT News.
The weekend fire at a trailer park off Roslyn Road has now become a double fatality. Fire crews responded to Taylor Drive in the early hours of Sunday morning, where they found 2 victims trapped inside the burning trailer. One adult male was ruled as deceased on scene, while an adult female was rushed to hospital. She was listed in critical condition, but the Ontario Fire Marshal's office has now revealed that she passed away sometime Monday afternoon. The cause of the fire remains unknown. However, investigators say it appears a working smoke alarm was not in place, which likely played a large factor in the tragedy.
Despite the ongoing strike by its public health nurses, the Thunder Bay District Health Unit is getting ready to offer a series of flu shot clinics. Over the next 6 weeks, a particularly vulnerable age group will have the opportunity to get immunized. The health unit is targeting children 5 and under, along with their families. There will be 7 drop-in dates at early on centers and Our Kids Count locations, the first being next Thursday at the Sherbrooke Early On Child and Family Center. So far, there are no regular flu shot clinics planned for the general public. The clinics are usually staffed mainly by registered practical nurses, with a few public health nurses on hand. But with those nurses on strike, the RPNs will be administering all of the flu shots.
A lack of skaters has prompted the city of Thunder Bay to make some changes with its outdoor rink services this winter. The Current River and Brent Park locations have both traditionally had 2 boarded rinks, but due to declining usage rates, both sites will be cut down to 1 rink with boards. However, both sites will be adding a new skating loop feature, which city park officials hope will be part of a revitalization effort.
We're looking for ways to maybe generate some new interest in skating features. And maybe bring, if you can get some people there to try out the skating loop, well, maybe they'll be reminded that there's a set of boards there as well, and also ponds on some sites too. So,
despite the changes, the number of locations will remain the same, with 16 supervised boarded sites, 11 unsupervised boarded sites, as well as 10 locations with skating ponds. The start dates will be weather dependent, as per usual.
It appears the Ontario government is about to end a long-standing subsidy for teachers aimed at encouraging them to upgrade their math skills. Ironically, that move comes on the heels of the announcement that new teachers will be required to pass a math proficiency test before they can enter the classroom. Colin DeMello reports.
It was tutoring for teachers who wanted to add to their math skills. The province offered subsidies for any educator who took continuing education courses in math.
Having this subsidy made wonderful sense for the government and for the people of Ontario, because it allowed our teachers to direct their learning toward an area that was important to the government at the time.
Today, that funding comes to a scheduled end with no guarantees that it will continue. The education minister addressed it for the first time today.
Over the last 15 years, the government that they propped up has put Ontario in a 5th $15 billion hole. So we've put a pause on EPO funding so we could do our own line-by-line audit.
But the pause comes at the same time that the province announced math test for new teachers. Get a failing grade and you don't get your certificate. It raises the question of the province's commitment to helping teachers in classrooms.
How can the minister justify imposing a new math test for teachers with one hand while cutting the funding meant to strengthen those skills on the other?
The minister says the money won't be cut, but redirected.
We're refocusing funding to support our teachers as well, actually to the tune of $55 million to help teachers transition from discovery math to getting back to the basics.
The ministry continues to consult on a new math curriculum. Colin DeMello, CTV News.
A benefit is being held this weekend to support a former Thunder Bay police officer who was shot in the line of duty. In 1991, Constable Craig Town was left paralyzed from the neck down. He's now in need of a new van to keep him mobile. Corey Nordstrom has more.
It's been 27 years since Craig Town was shot inside the Balmoral police station. A man under arrest managed to grab Town's revolver and shot the constable in the neck and shoulder. It cost Town the use of his arms and legs, but what it didn't take away was his bright spirit. And being able to leave the house and go to functions helps keep that positive outlook. However, the van that takes him to those events has seen better days, and he is in desperate need of an upgrade. Town recounts a time before he and his wife had their own modified van and the difference it has made.
I remember when this first happened, there's no such thing as spontaneity. We couldn't just say, hey, let's go out for dinner tonight, or let's go see a movie. We had to call Handy Transit a week in advance or something like that, eh?
From his chair, Town is still an active member of the community, taking part in a number of events like the annual police march. That's why it was so important for Greg Stevenson, the president of the Thunder Bay Police Association, to make sure there was a benefit to get him a new van, and to make sure he remains a familiar face with the local police force.
I think it's more of an inspiration in the fact that something happened to Greg 27 years ago. He didn't shrink to like a little violet and not do anything. He's been out in the community. He participates in as much stuff as he can. And I think that is more, it is a reminder, but I would hope that it's more of an inspiration for our younger members.
The disability coverage Town receives covers a lot, but not a new accessible van. And after 20 years, it's time for something new. He is thrilled with the amount of support the community as a whole has given him and the upcoming benefit in his honor.
Not about the fact that I love Thunder Bay. It's been great to me. Before I was injured, and it's been phenomenal to me after my injury. There's no other, I don't think there's another city in Canada that could have supported it.
The benefit in support of Craig Town will take place this Saturday night at the CLE Coliseum. Tickets can be purchased at the door and Tim's Whole Health. Corey Nordstrom, TBT News.
Well, spooky season is here as kids around the city put on their costume and head out trick-or-treating. And at Westmount Public School, their Halloween festivities expanded into daytime so that their students could get a few more hours of eerie fun. The school is known for their unique projects, especially when it comes to their fine arts programs. And one classroom in particular dove into the Halloween festivities by creating a haunted classroom. Grade 8 student Michaela Gibson says they found a way to include everyone in the school.
We decided to make a haunted classroom because it incorporates the whole school, so we all have to come together and participate in something different because we've never done this. And also it helps more build a relationship and teamwork for the class because we had to work with people that we didn't know before and create a big piece of artwork.
We usually do like activities, and we haven't done this before, so it just was really fun.
The haunted classroom was open for tours in the morning before the grade 7 and 8 students held a Halloween dance.
A Thunder Bay man got the chance to spin a wheel for big money today. Mike Talari and his wife Megan were at a OLG Prize Center in Toronto to participate in the Big Spin. He says it was their 2-year-old daughter who got him to go to the store last week where he bought the lucky scratch ticket.
So we went up to the corner store or the convenience store, bought the chocolate egg, and with the change in my pocket, there happened to be one $5 big spin left in the tray, and that was it. So thanks to our oldest daughter, we are here today.
Well, thank you.
The scratch ticket revealed the word spin, and then the lottery terminal in the store announced the words Big Spin, meaning he won a chance to come to Toronto and try his hand at the big wheel. The prize values range from $100,000 to $500,000, and Talari managed to land on one of the top prizes, a whopping $350,000. The couples were almost in tears after seeing the big wheel spin on the big number.
You don't know till you spin it. The mind's a funny thing. For 7 days, we've been seeing different numbers, different amounts, and we were going to be extremely happy with $100,000, but obviously your mind tends to wander and think crazy things, and this just means that we could take care of our little girls, and yeah, it's unbelievable. Thank you so much.
Talari says they plan to spend their winnings on an education fund for their 2 little girls and a new, bigger vehicle for their growing family. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, I'm also